Trời ơi, chị này rồi đó. Cảnh này.
So that will be the only stop that has restrooms, and we'll probably hang out there for about 15 minutes, and then we'll go check out Tunnel View and hang out there on the second stop for about. So we'll do this with staying cool. Drink lots of water. I do have water up here. When we get to the stops, you can fill your canteens up with that. And with that business done, yeah, welcome to Yosemite Valley Florida Tours. My name is Ranger Eric Nelson. I've been a Park Service Ranger now for about 5 years. The previous 20 years I spent in the Southern California film industry. After 20 years I decided I want to get way far away from LA freeways. And so I started working in Kings Canyon National Park in the summer. In the winters I come up here and work as a winter seasonal in Yosemite Valley. And then that house was removed in the 60s and just replaced last year. And there's a ceremonial roundhouse. We have 7 affiliated tribes with Yosemite National Park. We have a ceremonial roundhouse in the Indian Cultural Village that currently gets used for their ceremonies. This one is certainly signed for the Southern Sierra Miwok, and they will be able to kind of have ceremonies out of the area of the public, whereas the other one in Indian Village is kind of near the public there. Coming up on our left, we're going to get some good views of Leidig Meadow. Believe it or not, there used to be a horse track right here. They used to race horses right in that meadow. If you're ever bored on Google Earth, you can look down on the meadow and you can see the outline of the track. I hate pointing out waterfalls that are dry. There's a little bit coming off of what we're seeing to the right of Sentinel Rock. This is called Sentinel Falls. There's still a trickle there, but one thing that's interesting is about 2 days ago, coming down that waterfall, hitting those steps, we had a rock fall, and the rock that came down, they're estimating, was about the size of the Airstream trailer. Came down and made it all the way to the bottom. So very often in the winter we'll see avalanches come shooting through there too, but Sentinel Falls, that is the tallest waterfall on the south rim of the valley. Around here is changing a little bit. Look how the rocks are getting a bit sharper, the boulders are larger. This area, it's the 3 brothers that we're looking up at, named after the 3 sons of Chief Tenaya, who was in power here when the Mariposa Battalion came into Yosemite Valley to eradicate and remove the Awanichi people. Awanichi people call this area Wahaki. Wahaki means falling rock, which is very fitting because this is a very active rockfall zone. What we're seeing here is a lot of remnants from a rockfall that happened in 1987. You'll notice there'd be about 10 Olympic swimming pools of rock coming down. At that time, you had minor rockfalls happening before the major one. Law enforcement officers were noticing that the rocks were coming down. They headed all the way back to Camp 4, closed the road down, and then they had to wait about a week and watch the rocks, and there was pressure. 20,000 cubic meters or 120,000 whirlpools or Maytags came tumbling down. At that time in 82, we had a park ranger who left the park, and he was driving home. His girlfriend had left the park about 10 minutes before he did. He was the first one to come up upon this rockfall, and upon coming up, but and also, as well, I'll point out a little bit more, we got to come around a bit more to see the 3 brothers. The 3 brothers from this side is a little more photogenic than what we saw before. But so El Capitan is what Lafayette Pinel called it. The Awanichi people call this rock Tutakanula, which is translated into inchworm rock. And just like all the different monoliths that are around the valley here, the Awanichis all have stories about these places. And the story for Tutakanula, and here you're going to start getting some better views of the 3 brothers. So take a look. But with Tutakanula, the story goes that one day you had a couple bear cubs and they came down to the river to cool off and play in the river. I've seen it too. Yeah, I think that's a party up there. probably on a portaledge, and they have the white. What you're seeing is shading them from the sun right now in the hottest part of the day. Yeah, that little white dot. So that's probably a tent with 2 people in it. Right on, yeah. So we did have a party up there. All right. Okay, Dave. So again, with the geology just a little bit more, over time, because the mountains were shaped like I was saying, like a trapdoor lifted up, over time all the upper debris washed out, and that's why the Central Valley of California is so flat. If you drive up on Highway 99 from Southern California, you're actually driving over old parts of Yosemite. That we'll talk a bit about that. So wait for Dave to drop the steps. There you go. We'll watch out for traffic coming down the road. A lot of people are on vacation brain.
mà sửa vừa chạy luôn là ở ngoài có không nồi lên hết chạy
Right down there at that Roosevelt Meadow near that sign, that's placed there. A few days after meeting with John Muir, Teddy Roosevelt is in Sacramento and he's giving a speech. He's talking about the protection of sequoia trees. He says these sequoia trees are monuments in themselves. I want them protected. You're not building this country of ours for a day. It is to last through the ages. So here you clearly see the words of Teddy Roosevelt almost coming right from the mind of John Muir. Dave, you want me to hop out and I can stop some traffic for you? Give me a thumbs up if that helps, or... Oh, looks like you got it. Give it up for Dave!
Can you see it?
trời ơi vẫn có cỡ chả phải
Just do it, Mom. It's okay. We can do this all right.
you see that